Okay, so today we're going to be demonstrating a language arts scripted systematic instruction, otherwise known as a LASSI, and this one is at the high school level for the novel The Pearl. And two of the standards that we're working on is passage comprehension, and we'll be finding evidence to support a summary of the story, and also using context clues and to determine the meaning of unknown or multiple meaning words. And some of the prompting we'll be using during this are the least intrusive prompting and also example, non-example. Those are found in the instructional resource guide on the NCSEC wiki page. All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, today we're going to read from a novella. And a novella is longer than a short story, but it's shorter than a novel. So take a look at the cover on your novella. And the cover shows a man and a woman on a boat in the ocean. Okay. And there's actually, if you look closely at the woman, Liam, there's a baby in her arms.
Picking arm.
Yes, and they're on the ocean. So now I'm going to have you take a look. And we're going to predict, what do you think this novella is about? Is it about a family? Is it about walking on the beach? Is it about a cow? Or is it about the city? What do you think this is going to be about? When you look at the cover, what do you think?
I know.
What do you think, Liam?
Walking on the beach.
Well, could be they're at the ocean. What do you think, Allie?
I think it was the family.
The family. And you agree with the family?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to find out. So, a character is a person in this story. So I'm going to have you just listen while I read some sentences from our first chapter. Kino and his wife, Juana, woke up. Kino walked outside and watched the ocean. Kino heard the little splashing of the morning waves on the beach. So now I want you to turn the page in your book. Turn the page. Right here, and this one right here. Okay, we're going to be looking at this one. So who asks for the name of a character from our story? So Liam, who is a character in our story? Is it a cow, a dog, Kino, or shoes?
Kino.
You're right, it's Kino. We met our first character, Kino. Okay, so, but in this novella, there is more than one character. We've already read about who is the other character. And what's her name, Allie?
Juana.
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 Yes, did you find Juana? There's Juana. Okay. Okay, turn the page. I'm going to show you a couple more characters that we'll meet in our novel. Liam, can you turn the page?
I bet. Yeah.
Okay, find the page that says who at the top. Who. These are our characters. The first one we met was Kino. His wife's name is Juana. The baby's name, this is a hard one. Let's say this. Listen first. Hoyotito. Let's say that all together. Hoyotito. That was 4 syllables. And the other character we'll meet is the doctor.
Maybe a little fourth syllable.
Okay.
Right?
All right. And the other thing we're going to talk about before we start reading is the setting. And the setting is a place in our story. And the question word I'll use is where. So listen again while I read a sentence. And then we're going to see if we can figure out where the story takes place, what the setting is. Okay? Kino and his wife Juana woke up. Kino walked outside and watched the ocean. Kino heard the little splashing of the morning waves on the beach. So now you were listening to find out where the story takes place. Where does it take place? Was it at an amusement park? The ocean? At the White House? Or in a city? Where does the story take place?
Ocean.
You all agree, at the ocean. Good job. Now, I'm going to have your help reading the story with me. If you look in the front of your binder, there's a sentence strip. So go ahead, open up your binder and pull up the sentence strip. Okay, first listen to me read it, and I'll have you read it with me. Kino and Juana love their family. Okay, now let's read it together. Kino and Juana love their family. Okay. So when we start reading, you're going to help me read that line. Now, before we get to the book, we need to introduce, build a grade-aligned component. So we've got some word study and some vocabulary words. Okay. There are 8 words from chapter 1. I'm just going to focus on one of them for the purpose of this video. Okay. So I want you listening. Let's turn and look at your vocabulary. You turn it so it faces you. Okay. Listen to the word I'm going to say. Procession. Okay. Say it with me. Procession. How many syllables did you hear? 3 syllables. And listen again for the beginning sound. Procession. What sound did you hear at the beginning of that word?
Wait.
Procession. What sound do you hear? A P. And what sound does a P make? Okay, and a procession is a group of people walking together to the same place. Okay, so I want you to think, you know, when we walk to the cafeteria,
Yeah.
are we a big group?
Yeah.
We are. Are we walking to the same place?
Yeah.
We are. So what are we doing when we walk to the cafeteria? We are a procession. Take a look up here at the words first. You told me it started with a P. Do you see a word that starts with a P?
There's 2.
There's 2 that start with a P, so we need to be listening then for the last sound. Procession.
And a shin in it.
Oh, you hear the shun at the end.
Yeah.
Can you find which word says procession? Oh, good. Allie, Janice found it. Emmy found it. Liam, did you find a word that looks like procession? That one starts with a scorpion. This one's procession. Right there. Procession. Okay, so now thinking about the meaning. It's a group of people walking together to the same place. Oh, Shanice, you got it. Emmy. Liam, do you see a picture that shows a procession? A group of people walking together to the same place? You found it. All right. So now we're going to start working on building a grade-aligned component and some passage comprehension. So turn the page in your book. Okay. And before we start reading chapter 1, I want you to think about what this chapter will be about. Look at this page right here. Remember, we looked at the characters, Kino, his wife Juana, and their baby Coyotito, and the doctor. So which of these do you think the story will be about? Is it going to be about Kino, Juana and their baby? Is it going to be about a man catches a fish? Is it going to be a doctor helps sick people? Or is it going to be about a bad storm? What do you think? We're predicting what the story will be about.
Hello.
What do you think it will be about?
I can't hear.
Liam thinks it's going to be about a doctor. And me, what do you think it will be about? Oh, you think it's going to be about Kino?
Grandbaby.
Okay, and Allie?
I
what do you
think it's gonna be a store.
about her. Shanice, what do you think it's going to be about? Oh, you think it's going to be about the doctor as well. Okay, we're going to find out. We're going to read and find out. Open up your books. So as I read the first chapter, I want you listening for what does Kino hear? He hears something. That's what you're going to listen for. Okay? Kino heard the little splashing of the morning waves on the beach. It was very good. Kino closed his eyes to listen to the music. He heard an old song that came from his culture, the Song of the Family. What did Kino hear, Emmy? Yes, the song. The song of what?
Family.
The family. Okay, now we're just going to pretend we finished that chapter, and so everyone's going to help me read the repeated line. Liam, get out your repeated line.
Okay.
We're going to read that together. Okay, Shanice, we're going along as we go. Kino
Kino
and
Juana
love their family. Okay, so you can tuck that back inside your book. Okay, and we're going to look at some key details. So take out these little strips. Right out. We need to have some key details to back up our summary. So we're going to review them and see if we can put them in the order that they occurred in the story. Okay, you should have 3 strips. Everyone find the one that has the picture of the doctor. Okay, this one says, Kino and Juana take Coyotito to the doctor for help. Find the picture of the one with the brush house. This one says, Kino, Juana, and Coyotito live together in a simple brush house. And let's find the last one. With the picture of the baby. Coyotito gets stung by a scorpion. Which one of these details happened first?
The baby got stung by a scorpion.
Actually, we found out that
Oh,
they
yeah, they
lived
lived
in
in
a
a brush.
simple brush house. And I'm using the system of least intrusive prompts to make sure that they get it right away. They lived in the brush house. This is what happened first. Let's put it on the top, up here. That's what happened first. Now, what happened next?
Guess what?
Oh, Ali, you and Liam agreed. Coyotito gets stung by a scorpion, and Emmy agrees as well. Hey, and Shanice, what happened last? Yes, Kino and Juana take Coyotito to the doctor for help. Hey, I like how Allie's got hers in order. First, next, and last. Emmy, excellent job. first, next, and last. Liam, you've got yours first. What happened next? Next was Coyotito gets stung by a scorpion. And what happened last?
It's not.
First, they lived together in a simple brush house. Next, Coyotito gets stung by a scorpion. And what happened last?
Mental health.
They went to the doctor for help. Okay, so let's turn in your book to... Okay, we're going to look at this page again. So now that we've read the chapter and we've talked about it, what was our story about? Was it about Kino, Juana, and their baby?
Yes.
Was it about a man catches a fish?
No.
Was it about a doctor helps sick people? Or a
No.
bad storm?
A bachelor. I mean, Juana.
Yes, Kino and Juana and their baby.
Juana.
Go ahead and turn the page. Okay, now we're going to focus on the objective of answering who, what, where, and why questions. Okay. So, who asks for a character or a person? Okay, so looking at this page, Shanice can share here. Okay, Shanice, you ready to listen? Who got stung by a scorpion? You all chose Coyotito. The baby got stung by the scorpion. You're right. Okay. Now I've got a where question. So look at your next page. Where asks for a place that our story occurred. Where did Kino and Juana live?
Brush house.
Oh, you got it. A brush house. Yes, they were lived in the brush house. Just like this one here. You're right. Okay, turn the page. Now we have a what question. Okay, so you're going to be looking at this page right here. And what asks for a fact from our story. Now I'm going to let you let Shanice give her a chance to respond. Great, Shanice, you listen. What stung Coyotito? You found it up here and down there. Yes. What is that, Emmy?
A scorpion.
A scorpion. Okay, now we're going to look at this question. Now I've got a why question. And why asks for reasons from the chapter. Okay. Why did Kino think the doctor would not help Coyotito? Is it because they were rich? Is it because they were poor? Is it because they lived in the city? Or is it because they had a dog? Why did Kino think the doctor would not help Coyotito?
Way poor.
They were poor. They didn't have much money, did they?
No.
Here's our two main characters. Okay? See if you can find Kino. Which character is Kino? Run this page. Which one's Kino? Kino. Did you find Kino? Yes. He's the husband, and his wife's name is Juana.
Juana.
Where's Juana's picture? Okay, so let's start by thinking about our main characters. All right. What do we know about Kino and Juana? Okay, so we've got some choices here. What do we know about them so far? Kino and Juana love their family. Coyotito is a girl.
No.
Or Juana likes to fly kites. What have we learned about Kino and Juana so far?
Coyotito.
Emmy, what have we learned so far?
Hang on.
Their family.
That's right. Kino and Juana love their family. So now I want you to sit back and listen. I'm going to tell you a summary of the story. And then we're going to find evidence to support that summary. Okay? Kino was a fisherman who lived in a brush house with Juana and his baby. Coyotito. Kino lived a simple life. The baby was stung by a scorpion and needed a doctor. Kino did not have money to pay the doctor, and the doctor would not help the baby. Is that a good summary of her story, first chapter? Okay, so Liam,
Yeah.
we're going to find some key details now in this chapter that support the summary. So listen to this sentence. Okay, so we're going to look at the next page. Okay. Here. Okay. Kino lived a simple life. So let's take a look at these details. Which one supports this sentence in the summary? Is it that Kino lived in a simple house and ate a simple breakfast of corn cakes and syrup? Is it that Kino watched the ocean or George drove a car? Which one of those details supports the sentence, Kino lived a simple life?
Ocean.
A simple life.
Grass house.
Lived in a brush house. And remember, what did he have for breakfast?
Corn cake.
Corn cakes. Yes, you're right. Okay. Another sentence is, Kino did not have money to pay the doctor, and the doctor would not help the baby. Which of these details from the chapter support the idea that the doctor would not help the baby? Is it that the doctor was rich and did not help poor people like Kino and Juana? The doctor lived in a big house, or Isabella made pottery? Which one of those details
Big house.
supports the idea that Kino did not have money to pay the doctor, and the doctor would not help the baby? Which of these details supports that idea? Yes. Liam, which one supports the idea?
Let me think. Big house.
Yeah, the doctor was rich and did not help poor people like Kino and Juana. Okay, so now we're going to work on building a grade aligned component and working on some new vocabulary using context clues. So here's our first word. Are you ready? You're going to listen in the sentence I read for the word froze. Kino and Juana saw a scorpion crawling down the rope to the hanging box. A scorpion is an animal with 8 legs, claws, and a tail with a stinger. Kino and Juana froze where they stood. The scorpion was very dangerous. Now the word froze can have more than one meaning. What do you think froze means in this sentence? Does it mean the fire roared in the fireplace? Does it mean they stood very still? Or does it mean they were very cold? Kino and Juana froze where they stood. What does it mean? Yes, they stood very still. Okay? Okay.
Scorpions are dangerous.
They are dangerous. Okay, turn the page. We've got another word. Okay. Our next word. Oh, you skipped one there.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. There we go. You're good. Here's our next word. Brush house. Okay, that's a word you may not have heard before. So see if these sentences help you know what a brush house is. Kino was a poor fisherman. He, Juana, and Coyotito lived in a brush house, a simple house made of bundles of straw fastened together to form walls and a roof. Who can find a picture of a brush house? You guys got it right away. That's the type of house that Kino and Juana lived in. Okay.
Not a brush.
No. Okay, now we're going to turn to the very last page here. Very last page. Okay, so listen to these sentences from the chapter, and we're listening for the word indigent. That's a word we haven't heard before. Some of the newcomers appraised Juana's old blue skirt and Kino's tattered blanket, and they knew they were indigent. Okay, we're trying to figure out, what does indigent mean? Does it mean Juana wore an old blue skirt, so indigent means blue? The doctor was rich, so indigent means rich? Or they wore old clothes and had an old blanket. They did not have any money, so indigent means poor. Good job, Ali, Shanice. Amy, you guys got it. Indigent means poor. And so that is the end of the scripted part of the Lassie. There's also some optional writing activities. There's also building towards grade level competence, which uses the actual non-adapted text and has question and vocabulary. And there's also a section that builds toward independent reading with a simpler text and high-frequency sight words. And there's also a section at the very end where there's generalization across materials using poems and other articles.